because it's the first time we're going to get to see him on this channel. And it is going to be Mongol on Mongol. I know, mirror matchup. Boo! Why do you do this, Pigeon? Stop moaning at me. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and just sit back, warm your ass in that chair, and enjoy what's coming to your screen in just a few seconds. That's right. It is going to be DeMusliM in the blue. That's not the unfamiliar face, the one we haven't seen before, though. We've seen plenty of DeMusliM. Highly talented player, currently sitting in 6th on the leaderboard with 1,967 elo, 806 games played. His opponent, however, I've been looking for an opportunity to feature, but I can never find people going up against him. It is Jalifba. Jalifba, or Jahifba rather, is suddenly come out of nowhere. He's 116 games in, 79% win rate, currently sitting in 7th. 1,946 elo, barely anything separating these two players. But I saw him rise about a week or two ago out of nowhere. And this is probably a Smurf. I don't know whose, so if anyone has the download info, be sure to let me know. I always love to find out from you guys. You inform me, and I appreciate you. But this lad came out of nowhere, and he's been sitting in that top 15, that top 10 for a while, and I just couldn't find him. I couldn't find any players going up against him. In fact, I was like, you know what, this guy's a coward. He's dodging all the top 10 players because he's scared. Well, we're going to have to find out now if he's scared, because as we said, DeMusliM is a top 10 player, so this one should be frisky. Opening-wise, going to be very important, the difference here. Is there much difference? Slightly. You can actually see it already. This is a juicy spawn point for Jahifba. He has got the gold vein and the wood point right next to TC. This actually saves him 100 wood on his early economy. He doesn't have to expend to get access to the gold. And in the meantime, food will be sorted here with the sheep. And the only distance issue is he's having to run a long way to get the dock down. He actually opted for this one. I like this choice. If he went for this dock, the dock point over here on this small area, it's just free shorelines. Instead, he goes over here. There's a far out deep water fish, but it is still a deep water fish. And in the meantime, there's plenty of shoreline. Now, similarly, we might see him move out of DeMusliM to do something comparative. There are no deep water fish available to him, though. In fact, yeah, he'd have to go all the way over here. So it'd be an equally long run to what Jahifba just done to access deep water fish. But I have seen players do this just because it's so valuable. Remember that the gather rate on deep water fish is about 0.3 food quicker than the shoreline fish per second. It's insanely valuable, guys. It's why, if you ever watch pro matches, it honestly just looks like a Congo line of fish, all right? They're just dancing all the way to the bank from the middle of the lake. And you might look and go, oh, but there's shoreline fish right next to the dock. Yes, but it's just so much slower. The difference of a 40 capacity ship between these two, it just doesn't matter that you have to cross that distance. It's more valuable. But right now, looks like Jahifba didn't even notice it. No, look at, oh my, no. No, that's, come on. Look at this distance. Gentlemen with insecurity issues, don't let anyone tell you that a small measurement cannot make a big difference, because it does in this situation. It is the difference between Jahifba hitting the bank and hitting his head against the keyboard. Because if he looks back at this later and sees that that deep water fish is there, he is not going to be a happy chappy. Right, let's check in what's happening back in the base in the meantime, because the big thing we're looking for is, yeah, the opening choices. It is going to be racks. This is usually the way we see it. A lot of the time, you early scout, and you're looking for your opponent to kind of bow over and show weakness. And the way they show weakness is one player might go for a stable. If they do that, you instantly feel good about racks, and you can rush forward to their base, and there's not much they can do, and they can outpost crawl them. But look at this opener coming out from Jahifba. He blocked out the Villi. And it looks like they're going to try and snipe out a few of the sheep on the retreat. I really like this move. With the Khan, you can stay in range. This is really effective, what DeMusliM's doing. It's denial of economy, right? Every single one of these is worth 250 food. It's not at the end of the world for Jahifba to lose several of them, though, because remember, he does already have that dock down. And that's what he was investing in, right? The reason why he hangs around and pressures the villagers so long with the risk associated with doing so with so many sheep is because he already has his dock down. So in the coming minutes, he's not really going to need people working the sheep on land. It's an irrelevant detail for him. And it's why he doesn't care, as he's going to lose even more. This chase across, DeMusliM has the number advantage right now. It seems like Jahifba was slower to get the rack sword. I think both of them did make the same play, and that would have been to build the racks back at base and then pack it up and roll it over. Because remember, that's something the Mongols can do. It makes for more efficient economy, right? Because otherwise you're going to have a villager run over here, build this, and run all the way back. But keep in mind that the distance is bigger for Jahifba. You can see that, right? it's much further away. So DeMusliM was able to actually get a 1 or 2 production advantage. And you can see in the numbers, he's even spent more stone from his Uvu at this rate. And that means he can do this. And this is a big deal. If he keeps the numbers superior, he'll be able to burn through this racks, and then you're in a lot of trouble with your Jahibur. That's why he's going for the double production. Wrap around, looking for stabbing. Numbers are still in DeMuslim's favor, and that's why Jahibur is not engaging. But he's buying enough time. He's trying to bait him in because the new spears are coming out. However, DeMuslim are running with 2 more as well. And Jahibur, he gets baited in by this. He thinks he has the number advantage, and he's wrong. And he's not even getting rid of the low health ones here, so DeMuslim getting extra value out of his troops. And numbers right now, well, they're looking even. In fact, it looks like Jahibur is actually striking back here. DeMuslim not dragging them back correctly. He loses the main army. And it looks like it's going to turn again. Jahibur, too many heavily injured troops here. The only good side is DeMuslim will not have enough spears left to burn through the racks. But he does have to retreat, and if he retreats too far, they will turn him and just molly this to the ground. Another spearman goes down. It looked like for a moment DeMuslim was going to lose that. But he min-maxes 1 or 2 of these troops. You can see how low they are. And so many of Jahibur's line were almost dead. And now look at this. Still 3 of them almost down. And he's trying to push out as many spears as he can. You can see how they're baiting them in, and then they're just throwing mollies. And he's even attack canceling. This is something you can do, guys. You min-max your damage. It's not intended, but it is a thing. Works for scouts as well. When you have anything that's a slow attack speed, you can skip past parts of the delay like this. And the damage is done. DeMuslim, that's 150 wood spent with Jahibur, and that's 50 food and 50 gold gained by DeMuslim. That's the big deal. When you start to bleed buildings, it can quickly snowball into a loss in the Mongol and Mongol engagement, because every single building loss is a 200, on the average in these situations at least, a 250 resource exchange. And this is the big one. He doesn't want to lose the Uvu. Spearman debating him in again, though. He has to back away with the maneuver arrow. That does not feel good. That means you can be chased down now. Remember, DeMuslim, he hasn't used his arrow yet. He chases him for the stragglers, but look, DeMuslim, he can maneuver now, and he can chase him. He pinches, forcing him away. Focus is still on the Uvu. Split the forces. Maybe not the best way for DeMuslim to do this. He actually could have killed a lot more spears if he ran all the spears across. Instead, he leaves a few behind. He's going to set fire to this soon. And that's going to be another 100 resources into his economy. DeMuslim now already ready to tech up with the Deer Stone being built. And meanwhile, Jahibur, in a world of pain, has to double racks. This is the worst case scenario. Jahibur still doesn't have the food requirement to tech up because he built so many spearmen and lost them. And now he's building into racks, double racks, in fact, when his opponent is going to now tech up and get access to archers. Archers that will counter out your spears. And that means this double racks has no value until you hit Castle Age and unlock the Man at Arms. And wow, that's a desperation movie right there. He's just trying to sneak this in. He wants to get something somewhere where it's not going to be noticed, right? That's all he wants. He wants the treacle, and then he wants to use it later on, maybe in Castle Age, where he can like spam out 4, 5, 6 lances, right? I think that's now your intent as Jahibur. But that's a long way off. In this matchup, in the way this is playing right now, praying for a Castle Age is not the way to win. And yeah, Jahibur, you can see he's getting the tech up now, but he's behind. They're both investing 6 villages, so he's going to be about half a minute behind his opponent here. And that means his Khan's going to be upgraded first. And that can be very scary for Jahibur, because his Khan getting sniped out at this stage is a very big deal. In fact, a lot of times, these Mongol engagements can be decided by who loses their Khan. And there it is, with the tech up, baits him in long enough, and now you can just keep drive-by chasing him down. And you just have to run for the high hills. You can never turn around. And here we go. Rack's going to move out. Outposts going to be dropped as well. Jahibur investing a lot into this 4 base. If this gets sniped, the game will be over. If he gets spotted on the back low with this dock, the game is over, because he will not be able to replace this lost economy. The good news for him is DeMuslim's not looking there. Instead, look what DeMuslim's doing. He suspects something is not right over here. Will he move in, though? Instead, he's looking for the base. I don't think he ever scouted this, right? Yes, no, he never actually got eyeballs on. This was well hidden by Jahibur, right back in the corner. So we'll get away with this. And DeMuslim wastes a lot of time scouting the area, looking in the wrong place. And the reason he has to bring the whole army with him is because, like we said, the Khan is a deal breaker. It changes the way the game feels in this matchup. It completely just changes the flow of battles. That's why I love the existence of Khan. I think it's a very unique unit that actually has a massive impact on engagements with these arrows. DeMuslim, with the hardened spearman now, he'll get rid of this base. This is where the mistakes happen. Jahibur, he can't even get the tech up. Hasn't got the resources, hasn't even begun it. DeMuslim, it will take him no time at all to burn through the outpost. That is going to be 70 wood cost for you, and 100 resources being gained for DeMuslim. There it is. 50 food, 50 gold. Burns it down. can stab out the spearman that has now been upgraded. He tries to move them away, but he's outnumbered here, and that means you can just animation cancel, burn this to the ground before you get enough troops out if you're Team Red. He's going to have to engage soon, though. There it is, stabs in. Remember, there is a maneuver arrow coming off cooldown soon, so if you want to do something, you have to do it now before that comes into play again. And that's why it gets very dangerous. Ooh, Khan almost gets him. Gets baited in, though. Loses 2 more of these spears, and now the one's coming out! Already heavily damaged. He's going to pack up the racks and try and move it away, but it's already on fire. It's like something out of a Western movie at this stage. As the Native Americans run through the town and set everything on fire. This cart goes smashing the side of a building. That's what it feels like here. This racks, I don't think he's going to be able to repair it. That's another 150 wood lost, not to mention the 50 food and 50 gold gained. And DeMusliM, he's plowing on ahead. Look how close he is to being able to tech up now. And his army still hasn't had a dent in it. He never had to transition, right? He could have built archers, but he never bothered. What was the point? Your opponent only ever had spearmen. You don't care. And he still doesn't even have an archer army. He's finally building the archery ranges, but this is desperation for Jaffa. He'll move over here. One spearman did move out to start burning the dock. Really important he doesn't lose that. He's building the light junks now, so it should be protected. And he has snuck onto this point as well. So DeMusliM going to have to rebuild here as he got sniped out by the spearman. There was a counterattack from Jaffa. He sacrificed the military district to hit the economy. With light junks already coming out from DeMusliM, he should be able to match the pace of Jaffa. He just needs to be careful with the fishing boats. And he is moving the spear army over now. So DeMusliM trying to push his opponent off this lake. Will be able to do so. And that's once again going to be 150 wood plus the 220 wood spent by Jahivpur. And it's going to be 100 food and 100 gold being gained by DeMusliM. Because he's outnumbered. Look, he doesn't have his Khan here. It's 10 versus the 16. There's nothing you can do if you're Jahivpur. You have to surrender this over. New arrow. A little bit of a whiff there from DeMusliM. He'll just go in on the outpost though. He's losing 1 or 2 of the fishing boats. And remember that Jaffa still has this economy back here, right? But so far, DeMuslim's so far ahead. And in fact, he's almost complete with his tech up. Some of the Jaffa's nowhere near ready for. Look at the numbers. His income sucks. His surplus sucks. But now the spears are engaging. He actually doubled down on this. 17 to the 12. And advantage on water does belong to Jahivpur right now. No more light chunks coming out just yet. Most of the spears are going to be spent. And a decent-sized army remaining for Jahivpur. But this is where things change. This is where it gets real dangerous. Archer's being pushed out by DeMusliM. He can now get access to the man-at-arms if he chooses as well. So Jaffa is not out of the woods just yet. But this is a big step in the right direction. However, a lot of these spearmen are starting to fall quick. The fishing fleet is mainly gone, but now DeMusliM can transition onto land if he wants on the food front with the berry bushes currently. And then also he has this step readout just boosting his gold economy like crazy. I will give credit. Jaffa has clawed this back somewhat. DeMusliM is jumping the gun time and time again. These are not their archers. They're normie archers, and they're just jumping out as 2 against 10+ spearmen. This is not the way to play this. Almost feels like desperation out of DeMusliM a bit. Really could benefit from a boom ship here just to get rid of the dock. Remember, raising it will actually more or less pay. That's an amazing thing about playing as the Mongols. You'll get 50 food and 50 gold. So negate that from the explosive junk cost, right? You're essentially paying 140 resources for something that's going to kill enemy units and also burn down buildings quite effectively. Still no Uvu rebuild, by the way. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Wow, that's... Okay, then. So Jaffa hasn't even tried to get the Uvu down again. It means that if he loses this initial army, he loses the game now. Because he won't be able to replace it anywhere near as quickly as DeMusliM can. DeMusliM, now with the man-at-arms coming out and some archers, this gets scary. And in fact, the only concern is what might happen. Look at this gamble right here. Jaffa, he's riding in. He's prepping a siege. If he catches DeMusliM away from base, he might be able to do this, but he's going to have to be fast. The problem is there's more infrastructure going down. So DeMusliM, he already knows something is not right. He feels like he needs to ramp up, right? He sends a small contingent to deal with the forces on his sea area, right, with his dock. And they'll be done with that soon, but he should prep an army back at base. He shouldn't run too many troops out here. It could cost him dearly. Jahivpur, no intent of teching up. You can't anymore. It's do or die. 13 archers, 12 spearmen, 2 battering rams, and a dream. And the Khan spots it early. No! That's the worst case scenario. DeMusliM, yes, he loses the Khan, but he gets the info early. And now he can draw back the army. Here they come. They're running. They're running fast as well. The outpost, given that Yam movement speed as he did get the upgrade, means he'll be able to actually rejoin with the main force, and he'll be able to hold here. And Jahivpur, he can't even hard commit here. He's a little bit scared. He sees the troops nearby. The man-at-arms going to move him with the ram first. DeMusliM not even stopping on the gold line at this point. Could if he wanted to. He has 1,200 surplus. There is man-at-arms move in. Being overwhelmed. They're buying time, though. And now the archers do arrive, and the spearmen have to back away. The attack speed buff coming out for Javbert on his archers. But remember, it's vet archers versus normie archers. And this is not going to end well. This might just be enough to convince Redis over. There's no way you can hold against this. And the Baron round, one of them already burnt down. Villagers move on to the second one. And it looks like DeMuslim's done it. What a way to do this. What a play. The early aggression, the exploitation with the attack animation canceling to burn down the buildings quicker and the baiting in of Javbert to take unfavorable fights. That was the difference. If we actually draw back to the most important point in this game, it was when they were actually sieging the initial racks. He starts burning it down. His opponent basically gets a double production, and then he engages. And what happens is DeMuslim backs up, he backs up, he backs up, then just two more spearmen arrive, and then he turns around with a maneuver arrow. And that is the difference maker, because he has the maneuver arrow, his opponent uses it as a gap close originally. That gives him the number advantage, and that pushes him forward. And from that point on, really well played by DeMuslim to just keep constant pressure. He never actually found the base, and you notice instead, he just started to guard the Midland and planned to tech up. And instead, he then finds the secondary base with the Uvu in the center. The only way it could have got better is if he ever spotted that dock in the east side. By the time he did, it was too late to burn it, right, as we saw. But overall, the tempo with which DeMuslim played this matchup proves why he's still, in my opinion, one of the best Mongol players in the game. There's a reason that this guy is sitting in the top 10 right now, and there is a reason why he started out playing as the Mongols, right? Because he understood the power of them, and he understands all those small tidbits that can basically give you that extra mileage to win out in these Mongol on Mongol engagements. And that's exactly what he does here on Ancient Spires. Fantastically done by him, proving why he's very close to cracking the 2,000 elo mark now, sitting at 1,967. So might be in a few days. We're saying that he's past the 2K. A few players have already reached that now. I think there's 4 top players in the world that have reached 2,000 elo score. So really hyped to see how far these scores are going to go in the coming months. But I definitely expect, no matter what happens, for DeMuslim to be up there. And if you want to see how he got there, if you want to see this journey on the way there, there's been plenty of videos of DeMuslim already over on the YouTube channel. So be sure to check out those and continue on through with the action. Because the longer you stay on the channel, well, the more YouTube likes us. And that means that I can push out even more videos to you guys in the future. So stay with us. And thank you for the support. And I'll see you in the next one.